Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and today I'm going to be sharing with you a New Earth collective message for this week and a beautiful card pull. So stay tuned, watch this video. Welcome back. Today I am going to keep it as short and sweet as I possibly can. I wasn't planning on coming on YouTube today, but because of what I've been going through, I think it's very important to also, I feel like a lot of times I'm a vessel of what the collective is going through, and we all are. We are all vessels of what the collective is going through. So you can safely assume that if you're going through something, then a whole heck of a lot of other people are also going through the same thing. So I wanted to share with you the card that I pulled today. This is the Psilocybin card. And basically this card essentially boils down to the fact that mushrooms, right, and our fungi, the networks of mycelium, are growing off of things that are dying and decaying. So this card is really a harbinger of looking at things differently than we normally look at things. And also knowing that what you consume, what you're made of, is essentially what you become, and essentially can be your fuel. What you consume is your fuel, right? So if you're consuming things that are very negative for you, then you're going to become that thing, kind of like you are what you eat. But in terms of even, what thoughts you think, what people you listen to, what TV you watch, all of that kind of stuff, okay? So I want to share with you, basically what happened to me today was I normally am working Tuesday, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. And if you don't know, I do hair. So I'm a holistic hairstylist. And so normally I'm working at the salon and I'm just connecting with people and having beautiful conversations, making people feel amazing. And, I've been doing this in South Africa for only about 4 weeks now, almost. But been doing it in Chicago. I was doing that for the last 7 years of my life. So today I am still growing my clientele. So today I did not have any clients booked. And so there's stuff running through my brain like, oh, well, maybe I should go into work anyways. Maybe I should go and sit there and just see if anybody calls in or if there are any walk-ins that come in. And, I really had to tap in and ask myself, what is it that I need today? Because especially with a new job, you always want to show that you're willing to be there, willing to be of service, right? But there's a difference in New Earth of being in alignment with yourself and putting yourself first and then helping others and serving others from that space versus putting yourself to the side and helping others first, which then ends up leaving you drained and not able to serve in the same capacity. So I was really actually feeling like, oh, I don't really want to go into work today. And then it was really a gift that I didn't have any clients booked. So normally my thought process would be like, oh my God, I don't have any clients. Nobody likes me. I'm not valuable. If I don't go into work, I'm not going to be productive. And so all of these things in New Earth, we have to change the meaning to all of these things. We have to understand that our self-worth is not what we do or what we put out into the world. Our self-worth cannot be any longer attached to those things. So we have to be mindful of what do we mean by productivity? Because why is rest and rejuvenation not also productive in a certain way? Again, attaching our productivity to our output can be so dangerous, especially for someone like me. If you're highly sensitive or empathic, our nervous systems work differently, and actually they only take a little bit of stimulus for us to get really worked up. So I'll give you an example. I was on the computer all day yesterday, and so it left me almost with a technology hangover. And as we all know, the more we engage in things like this, in the computers, in the technology. It brings us back into the matrix. There's no other way around it. So I spent a lot of time on the computer yesterday and then almost had this like productivity hangover. Like I have to. So even after I decided I'm going to block my schedule and not go into work, I still was thinking, okay, let me put together some meditation in women's circles. Let me go to this yoga studio in this place and do this thing and call this person and talk to this person, and having so much movement going when I felt into the energy of what I wanted to do today, it was very slow. So what we're all learning in New Earth right now, and this is part of the collective message, is that we're all learning to honor the natural ebbs and flows of life, right? And so what's very important to keep in mind is that with the natural ebbs and flows of life, you're going to have days that are more slow. You're going to have days that feel like they're moving at warp speed. And this is more true now than it ever has been, because we are playing and operating and manipulating time in ways that we've never been able to do before. And this is what quantum leaping is all about. So keep in mind the energy of this week, especially with Mercury in retrograde, especially coming out of the Pisces full moon that we just had. If you didn't already, watch my video for the Pisces full moon. Maybe it will resonate with you and you'll be able to get a bigger understanding of what you're also going through this week. But especially coming out of these events, these astrological events, and moving into different astrological events like the Mercury retrograde, time is going to feel like it's moving a little bit differently. And part of especially being balanced in your feminine energies is learning to respect the cycles of nature, right? In women's cycles, there's your spring, summer, fall, and winter. And each one of those times requires a different version of you, right? So let's give you an example. Let's say I attach my sense of happiness to summer Serena, when my productivity is very high, when I have a large sex drive, when I'm doing all of these creative projects, when I'm not sleeping as much. What if I attach my happiness and my self-worth to summer Serena? Then when fall and winter hits, I'm going to feel terrible about myself. So again, going back to this card, right? Psilocybin. This idea that these things are born out of death and decay, right? So if we attach our happiness to something that's alive right now, or we attach our sense of self-worth or self-love or fulfillment to something that is alive right now, and 5 minutes later that thing dies, then guess what? There's a part of us that will also have to die with it. And if you've also been on this spiritual path, this spiritual journey, you've probably lived through many deaths, many parts of you that have died and transformed into something new. And from that death came something else in its place, something new, something better. Think of the caterpillar becoming the butterfly. The entire caterpillar has to liquefy and literally become nothing in order for it to transition into the butterfly. So keeping that in mind with this week, to honor the sacred cycles, to honor the cycles of nature, to honor yourself and where you're at. That is so important, especially coming off of these more intense full moon energies. If you need to rest, then rest. If you need to turn inward and really just be with yourself, then do that. If you need to be out in nature, if you need to be having quiet reflection time, do what it takes to really honor yourself, because the person that is enlightened, right? Enlightened or without the mind, that person instantly and intuitively gives themselves whatever they need in that moment, without the thought of I'm bad or wrong for doing this, without the thought of what will other people think, without the thought of is this okay for me to be doing, right? So instead of judging ourselves, let's ask ourselves more honestly and authentically, what is it that I need in this moment, and how can I best serve myself? Because when you best serve yourself, and this is especially important for all my empaths and highly sensitive people out there who love to be of service for others, when you are serving yourself to your fullest extent is the only time that you can fully show up for other people. If you're half person within yourself, you're only giving half to somebody else, right? So you have to be fully embodied in your truth. And that means if you need to rest, then you need to rest. It means if you need to go for a walk, then you need to go for a walk. And this is part of New Earth, and knowing that your evolution and your embodiment of your truth comes before anything else in life. That is the first and foremost thing. And some people would consider this like your connection to spirit, your connection to God comes first. Your evolution, your spiritual practice comes first. Whatever that means for you, in whatever language you want to use, that's what comes first in New Earth, is what you need in this moment. And that doesn't mean like if you needed pizza 2 days ago that you feel like you're in the same mood now. That doesn't mean pizza is going to help you now. That actually might mean a walk might help you now, right? So really tuning in with yourself and being present in this very moment to ask yourself sincerely and without judgment what it is you need and how you can look at it differently, right? How can you look at it with less judgment, less shame, less guilt, because your self-worth is not attached to things in the way that we used to believe that they are. So that's so important for this week. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, comment and subscribe down below. I would love to hear from you. What are you going through this week? Thank you so much. Share it with somebody you love that needs a little extra help or inspiration for these times in New Earth. But with that being said, if you're looking for any more extra support, you can check the link in the description where I offer one-on-one services on my website as well. So if you're looking for anything, you can find out more about me on my website. You can also work with me one-on-one. So thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you next time. Big love, Serena.